One of the most common questions asked in my comment section after the episode 4 breakdown was, did Drogon in fact get poisoned by that scorpion bolt that Bronn managed to plant in his shoulder blade? Now, after initial inspection of the bolts that were being fired, there was no poison bulb on the end of that bolt that would explode and get into Drogon's bloodstream. Let's quickly discuss the possibility of Drogon being poisoned in Game of Thrones Season 7. Now, first off, I just want to say that if Drogon does turn out to be poisoned, Bronn, you're an asshole. Bro, like, I was a huge fan of you for several seasons, but if you're the one or the reason why Drogon comes down later on this season, I'll probably kick you in the nuts if I ever meet you in real life. A very popular dragon, Meraxes, who was a part of Aegon the Conqueror's original takeover / uniting of the Seven Kingdoms, she died from a scorpion bolt in the eye. Now, there's no mention of poison, but it would be following a trend this season if Cersei had in fact dipped these bolts with poison. I've been saying that a dragon is going to come down for a while now, and earlier this year I did a podcast in which I mentioned how a dragon could potentially be poisoned. Now that I'm actually faced with this fact, I'm terrified. Initially, when I first heard this theory, I was like, there's no way. That would piss me off. Dragons, I'm sure, have some natural immunities and some capabilities of getting rid of poison themselves. But Cersei is known to be a motherfucker. So if that's the case, she could have had some souped up version of poison wiped on the barbs on the actual bolt that hit Drogon in the shoulder. One thing that was mentioned in the comment was the fact that Drogon was named after Drogo, and the way Khal Drogo died was from a festering wound in the shoulder blade. Now, what if Drogon doesn't get treated for this wound immediately? Daenerys thinks it will heal, and eventually it could fester and potentially slow down her dragon. It is possible that the scorpion bolt itself was dipped in a poison, and then that poison would still be active, and as soon as it made contact with Drogon's bloodstream, it's too late at that point, and it just could be a longer acting poison. Or since Drogon is so massive, it takes a lot longer for that poison to reach his heart and then be pumped throughout his bloodstream. The last time a dragon was killed using a scorpion bolt, there was no poison involved, it was just a well-placed arrow. Perhaps Cersei didn't want to take that chance this time, and she wanted a more secure way of neutralizing the threat of Drogon. Perhaps she had Qyburn whip up some sort of special anti-dragon poison, and that's what's now inside of Drogon's bloodstream. We all knew that Dany would eventually lose one of her dragons. It's been a very popular theory amongst the Game of Thrones community for several years now. The thing is we all, like me at least, I thought Drogon would be the one that's safe. And then I'm overanalyzing the situation a bit, and I'm thinking, okay, Drogon was given a shit ton of screen time in the last episode. Sometimes when that happens in this TV show, when a character is given a whole bunch of screen time, they die quickly after that. Now, obviously, I feel like, being a House Targaryen fan, that Drogon is a bigger and of more importance than just some character who disappeared for a few seasons, comes back, and then dies. But what if the only reason why Daenerys took the one dragon was to show us how much damage Drogon can potentially do by himself? Even though Daenerys has had a few heart falls this season, ultimately with Drogon and the action he showed us, she can literally take out everyone and conquer all of Planetos, in my opinion. What better way of humanizing Dany and bringing her down a bit than taking out one of her greatest weapons? She still does potentially have 2 more dragons in order to fight in the War for Dawn. Speaking of War for Dawn, a lot of people think that when Daenerys goes to fight the White Walkers north, the Night King is going to take down one of her dragons. And once he takes down one of her dragons, he's going to raise it back up as a white dragon. This may be the perfect opportunity to do so. What if Daenerys doesn't know about the poison yet? Because like I said, it takes a lot longer to work through Drogon's system, and she goes up north to help Jon. When he goes to Eastwatch by the Sea, the dragon falls and then gets raised as a white dragon. I don't know how that would work from a logistical standpoint. I guess it would matter in how much time it takes Daenerys to go help Jon at Eastwatch by the Sea, and I don't think she's going to be willing to do that until she at least feels like she's done all of what she can do in order to conquer the Seven Kingdoms. I, for one, definitely don't want this theory to come to fruition, but you all let me know down in that comment section if you think that Drogon could have been poisoned, and if Qyburn whipped up a special poison just because he knew how big Drogon was. My initial thoughts of this theory is that it's ludicrous. Dragons are magical, therefore they should have magical properties that allow them to have natural immunities and things that would repel diseases. But George R. R. Martin said that there is no magic, and then in this world, the sci-fi works so well, you don't see it working. I don't believe this theory, but I think that's more so of me being a fan of dragons and I don't want to see one die on screen. Can you imagine Drogon going down in battle all of a sudden out of nowhere and just starts like coughing up toxic fumes or something? In my opinion, that would be on the same level as watching Hodor being stabbed several times by whites. This would make for a crazy, insane ending to Game of Thrones Season 7. Now, the poison bolt theory could just be a red herring, but let me know what you all think. Do you all think that Drogon could potentially be poisoned, or do you think that this is just something that makes us all think this way and Drogon will in fact be fine, but may potentially be brought down when Daenerys goes north to help Jon? Super special thank you to Kathleen Cotter, I See But Not Really, Juliet, Dean Crowseye, Elder Flores, Enid, Terry, Justin Stone Diaz, Darton, Sammy Omer, Joe Swag, Lynn Shaw, and Angel. Without you all, these videos would not be possible, and if you all watching would like to become a sponsor to Sir Hunt's Reviews, all you have to do is click the Patreon link down below in the description or up here. I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you could please slap a like on this video, go ahead and subscribe, and then make sure you have your notifications turned on so that way you get notified every time I drop Game of Thrones content. The like goal for this video will be 150, and if you would like to enter my contest for once I reach 20,000 subscribers here on YouTube, all you have to do to enter is like this video, comment down below, make sure you're subscribed, and then hop on Twitter and follow me. You'll be able to win this lovely mystery Funko Pop figure. My name's Mark, and this has been Sir Hunt's Reviews.